Precision Shooting Center in Forest, Mississippi, a small town about 45 minutes outside of Jackson. These are members of local churches. They're here to take a class to become certified as armed church security.
Do what you have to do. Move out. Everyone stand up. Pick up your gun. Give me some good shots.
The instructor is Clyde Morgan, a 77-year-old Vietnam veteran who runs the gun range on his family farm.
By being on a church security team, you agree to take human life, to kill somebody. I know what it feels like when your life's not worth a nickel. But by being on this team, that's what you're willing to do.
Be careful, because it only shot one.
She pulled the trigger. She is not pulling it all the way back.
Yeah, it hangs up. It hung up on me one time.
I visited Ken Winter, Executive Director of the Mississippi Association of Police Chiefs.
This is a situation where you have enabling legislation that puts together a security team, gives them the authority basically to use deadly force if needed. But the reality, as we know it, is even trained police officers who constantly train on the use of force, the use of deadly force, and firearms qualifications, still sometimes make mistakes and make decisions that end up costing somebody, an innocent person, their life.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another video, Cigar Ralphy Show. And I had to do this story, man, because I saw this video and it brought up a lot of things, you know, in my mind. It gave me some crazy feelings, like, as you know, or if you don't know, I am a gun owner. I am a gun advocate. I do believe in, Second Amendment rights and everything. I've been around guns for a long time. This was kind of creepy, and the reason why it was creepy to me, the reason why I found it so intriguing or whatever, is because it shows you the time, the mind frame that everybody's in now, the times that we're living in now. Don't get it twisted. This is, people are like, oh my God, church now is gonna have, security or whatever. Church has always had security since the beginning of time, when people have been killing over religion. If you look at history, a lot, probably most battles, wars, big mass killings have been over religion, or have had some kind of backing due to religion, or something, has some origin within religion. The church has always had security. You can call them Knights Templar from back in the day, or whatever. There's a lot. Right? I'm not gonna get into that, but in today's day and age, you don't think that you would see a church with armed security. What we saw in the video was this gentleman. He's a retired veteran, and don't know if you guys noticed, I only recorded a snippet of it, and I only put up a piece of it because it was a pretty long video, but I'll have a link to the video in the description box. Now, this is a Vietnam veteran. The man, he owns a farm, and he turned it into a gun range and a training course for people. And that is due to, of course, as we all know, the shooting that just happened. I mean, we had a shooting in Vegas, that wasn't a church, but it was still a shooting. You had the Orlando shooting. You had the other church last year or the year before with the kid. You have, and the most recent one, of course, in Texas. So people are scared. People are scared, of just going to the supermarket and dying. People are scared of going to church. They're scared of going to church now and dying. Now, it's a double-edged sword. In my opinion, I'm all about gun rights, people owning weapons, and people having something to defend themselves and their household and their families with, and their business, or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, like that police chief said, you know, it becomes, there's like a gray area there. If you would say, I don't know if I'm using that term right, there's like a, you know, like I said, a double-edged sword, because, you know, you have people, you have, you know, these civilians. Me, I'm trained in law enforcement. I've been, you know, around guns for like many years, you know, so I've got a lot of training. And when it comes to guns, it's not just training on how to fire it. There's more to that. There's more to it. There's more to than just grabbing a gun, you know, knowing how to load it and firing at a target, you know, and then carrying it. There's more to that. Law enforcement gets a lot of training, and even with the training, just like he said, sometimes they make mistakes, because we are not meant to be that way. You know, it takes a lot of mental training. It takes a lot of training for you to get the muscle memory to be able to do that and fire. You know, you have murderers and stuff and people who shoot other people, but those are special cases. You know, it happens a lot, but it's still special cases. It's not you know, it's not just anybody that can grab a gun and shoot someone. But when you add the element of fear into this equation, where people have guns, it's a possibility that you can have a lot of accidents. I'm all about it, don't get me wrong. I don't think everyone should be armed. Probably not everyone. Again, I have to look more into it. As I saw it from that video, I just saw that. I'd have to do more research. I'd have to sit back and look at the whole scope of the situation, just to get my, you know, just to get a full picture of it. But just from what I saw, you know, arming regular citizens, giving them an 8-hour class, as you saw, that lady was like, oh, it jammed, you know, she wasn't even pulling her, you know, her trigger all the way back. And then he came, and he's very trained, you know, Vietnam vet. He has a gun range in his house, so he shoots a lot, you know, and he's been to war, so he's kind of stared death in the face. He's got a different mentality when it comes to that, you know, and just like officers and, you know, people who are around weapons. If you saw from one of the parts in the video when he was talking about, I think it was you have to be ready to kill someone or something like that, he kind of paused for a minute and he broke down. That's his PTSD, you know, hitting him. He's from Vietnam. He's seen some crazy stuff. And I know what that's like, and a lot of my friends do too. You know, people who've been through things have that reaction. Now, back to this, you know, arming the citizens, you know, you gotta be very careful when it comes to that. It's only an 8-hour class on how to use the weapon, and yeah, you shoot some dummies and everything, but you don't want somebody to make the mistake, you know. You're talking about church, you know, you could have anywhere from 2 people to hundreds of people in the church. Imagine, you know, hundreds of people who aren't fully trained, who is their first time having a gun, first time, who only fired it one time at the range, having weapons and making a critical mistake that can get somebody killed, hurt, murdered, or whatever, you know, the case may be. Again, you know, I'm all about it. It's, you know, I'm still like, damn, this is crazy, man. It's scary, the point that we have to, that we're getting to. Again, I am a gun owner. I love guns. Okay. I am licensed. I also work in law enforcement. I'm also a veteran. I know I had guns in the military, and the military obviously uses weapons. Almost all my friends carry weapons, but all my friends are either law enforcement or trainers, gun trainers, you know, instructors. So, you know, I hang out with different, you know, with people who are around guns all the time. But arming these citizens, man, you know, somebody could make a vital mistake, and, you know, you know, just like the chief said, you know, it gets to a point where you're like, you know, where you got even the gun owners, even the gun supporters are like me, or you know, are gonna be like, damn, I don't know, because you have to train. When you have a gun, you have to take a lot of training. It's not just the weapons training. If you own a gun, this is just my advice. Try to get a class, if you can find it somewhere, wherever you're from, on use of force, on, you know, some kind of psychological training, or, you know, granted, you know, when, you know, and I'm saying this because I work corrections too, so we got to talk a lot. We don't have weapons in the compound, but most corrections officers carry weapons outside of work, due to the scope of their job. You know, they're in there in a prison or in a jail. When they get out, you know, inmates get out too. Inmates do get released, and they might not like whatever, but that's not the only reason, but, you know, just for protection. But still, you know, you need to take some training, some extra training. Make sure that you're always going to the range. You have a responsible trainer. Don't do stupid things with the guns, you know, stupid games. Like, I've seen some videos where people do just dumb stuff. Make it, you know, putting on a vest, see if you know, how strong the plates are. I have my vest right here, actually, and I have these plates that I wear that go inside my vest. These plates go in my vest. These are these could withstand a 7.62 millimeter round. You know, and I'm just showing you that, just to show you, you know, I'm a serious gun owner. Okay, and like I said, most of my friends are. It was scary, man. That's scary that people at church have to arm themselves, because that's the type of world that we live in, you know, that we're living in today. You know, people have guns, people have mental health issues, and we get things like this happening. We have a big terrorist problem. Whether you want to admit it or not, it is there. There is a terrorist problem. There are people out there that want to hurt us as a country, that want to see us fall as a country. And, you know, we do have to arm ourselves. But I think you know, we got to take it in strides. We have to do it responsibly. First of all, we can't get everyone in the same sheet of music about guns. So there's that problem there. You know, you got half the country going, no, guns are bad. I don't want them. I don't want to see them. Hell no, we won't go. And you got half the country saying we need them. We got them. We got to protect ourselves. We got to get everybody, at least, I think we got to be at least at 80%. You know, I think at a minimum, 80%. Not compliance, but, you know, in agreement about that, you know, before we start doing anything. Because it's getting dangerous out there. Okay, that's serious, man. That is serious. That's some serious stuff. I don't know, but my opinion, it's good, but we gotta go about it a little bit differently. 8 hours is not enough. An 8-hour class on weapons is not enough. Okay, you buy a gun, be prepared to go to class at least once a week. You don't have to go every day. If you can, great, but at least once a week, you know, before you even think of carrying that. You know, do a couple of weeks of class, all kinds of classes that you can take on weapons and uses of force, so you can learn and I'm talking about people who are pro-gun and never owned a gun and want to own a gun. Take those classes. People who are against guns should take the class, so they can learn what it is to really have a weapon. And it's a responsibility, and you got to change your mind, your mindset. Me, I carry a weapon all the time. I'm a very passive? Like, I'm a very calm person. I'm not use big words that I have to look up in the dictionary. I'm a very calm person. It takes a lot to upset me. I'm not one that goes off like this. You know, if you're one of those people that get mad at everything, and, you know, you probably shouldn't be carrying a gun. You got to be a different kind of person when you carry a weapon. You have to be a different kind of person. You cannot be that person that's always getting mad, that's, you know, arguing, that's quick to argue. You got to be able to learn how to lose an argument. Yeah, I'm not afraid to lose an argument. If I'm in the street and for some reason I get into an argument with somebody, I'm not afraid to lose, because I know that if it gets, if I escalate, or if the situation escalates, if it goes from a 3 or 4 to a 10, there's gonna be weapons being pulled, and I don't want to aggravate the person who I'm arguing with or who I'm having a confrontation with. To the point where it makes him or her do something that's gonna make me draw. I don't want to draw the weapon on someone. I don't want to. Nobody who's a responsible gun owner wants to draw the weapon. If you're walking around with a weapon, okay, you bought a gun or whatever, you're walking around and in your head you're like, man, I'm ready to draw. I want to draw or whatever. You are a liability. Okay, you are the people who don't, that are against guns, you're the ones that they're talking about. And you're the ones that make everyone else look bad. So you got to get out of that mentality. Get out of that. Don't even buy a gun. If you know you have a temper, if you know you're quick to draw, if you're like, oh man, anybody messes with me. No, if you're like showing off your gun, no, this is not the Wild West. Okay, you're gonna end up killing somebody. You end up killing yourself, or end up in prison. Okay, you could shoot an innocent person. That's another thing. That's another problem I have with that. Is you have a lot of people arming themselves now. If you got bullets flying left and right, from I don't know how many different directions, there's no order, and there has to be an order of fire, and if you have designated security, like you have a church and you have, okay, John, Joe, Sally and Sarah are the 4 security personnel who are carrying their weapons concealed, and you have them placed in strategic points within the church. That's a different thing. That's different, but they also have to be trained in how to spot a threat, a real threat, not somebody arguing. I'm talking about a real threat. Somebody that comes in, you spot a weapon, whatever. It's gonna get to the point where we're gonna have metal detectors in churches. We got them in schools. We're gonna need them in churches. Okay, we just gotta get better, man. We gotta get better. Anyway, like and subscribe, man. Like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button, okay? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And also leave your comments below on what you think of this, what your point of view is on anything, on either weapons or on people having guns in church, on training, on anything. If you own a gun or if you don't, if you're opposed or if you're pro or not pro, whatever. Pro weapon or not pro weapon, I don't know where. All right? And I will see you on the next smoke. And let this Marine get back on a mission.